The United States, a beacon of freedom, a place where democracy flourishes, a place where the people have a voice, an ability to choose who represents them, a place where legislators make laws that is best for their constituencies. Or is that just in theory? It seems more and more money has crept into our political system. With lofty campaign contributions, the possibility of our system turning into a favor-based system becomes all the more real and likely. It's no secret that campaign contributions are a staple in today's political sphere, as politicians are heavily reliant on such donations in order to win elections. Once the politicians are in office, the donors have a foot in the door since they made such generous donations to get them there in the first place. The issue boils down to representation. Are the American people actually being represented by those in office, or are politicians more beholden to those that they owe favors to? Does your vote and opinion actually matter, or is there a puppeteer fiddling the proverbial strings of the politicians in the background, drowning out the voice of the common citizen? Roscoe and Jenkins of Dartmouth University shed some light on this issue when they attempted to pinpoint just how much contributions affected roll call voting. They ultimately found that as much as 1/3 of the roll call votes were impacted in some way by campaign contributions, and the implications are considerable. Less than 0.5% of the United States adult population contributed $200 or more, and 0.05 contributed $2,600 or more during the 2013-2014 political cycle. This means that less than 1% of the United States population has the ability to control up to about 1/3 of roll call voting. It is apparent that the representation of those that can't or don't make such lofty contributions, which is the vast majority of the United States population, is severely hindered. Those that do make contributions have a much louder voice when it comes to policy. Moreover, nearly 50% of the total $2.4 billion donated in 2008 came from the top 5 contributing sectors, including finance and real estate, lawyers and lobbyists, healthcare, communications, and energy and transportation. The idea that half of the less than 1% of Americans that make political donations are comprised of 5 industry sectors, and this part of the American public is able to influence up to 1/3 of the roll call votes, further proves that representation is severely compromised when the elite and top corporations are able to make lofty campaign contributions while others are simply unable to. The icing on the cake comes with the fact that money is further used to mobilize politicians, meaning that money drives legislators to actually be productive. This is most significant in the formative committee stage of the legislative process, where bills are being thought up, hidden away from the eyes of the public. Considering the fact that being consistently knowledgeable about bills requires legislators' time, effort, and energy, researchers Hall and Wayman concluded that PAC money did buy the marginal time, energy, and legislative resources that committee participation requires. This means that donors have the biggest say in policymaking, as they get in on the ground floor and mobilize those that are on their side in office. So what can be done? First and foremost, ending the trend of money in politics serves as the best way to eradicate this problem. By not adding to the myriad contributions to campaigns, you can make a positive step in the right direction towards eliminating money as a factor in political outcomes and policy decisions. Furthermore, if enough people put their foot down and refuse to make donations, it will slowly change the landscape for how politicians run for office. Secondly, making an effort to learn the issues of the election is an important step to making elections about substance rather than money. Don't let ads sway your decision, as that only plays into the efficacy of big money in campaigns, but instead, take a less superficial look at things and decide based off the stances and ideas of the politicians. Not only does this minimize the importance of money, but this also ensures that the people headed to represent you are actually the ones that will look out for your best interests. The best way to ensure that the right people are in office is to be informed throughout the election process. Even more, actively voting against those that accept hefty donations and who have had histories of representing donors more than their constituencies is a great way of showing that we won't tolerate money in politics anymore. Since politicians can't get into office without being elected, this sets up a barrier. By making it clear that the common people don't like these sort of donations, politicians will have to take notice and slow down with contributions significantly in order to not lose support. Staying informed and knowing the stakes is a significant portion of the campaign finance battle. It's time to take back majority rule in this democracy and stop the few wealthy elites from controlling Washington.